the live experience is really where we, in my opinion, shine. You know, and this is where I have the most fun. I think this is where we sound the best, with all the flaws and everything. And it's what we've done extensively after every album, I have to say, probably after Clayman, or right before Clayman, and then onwards. It's really touring what we do.
I think we got to establish our name in America and over here in Europe. We got to play more festivals over here, better slots. In the US, we got to tour with bands like Earth Crisis, and then I think Shadows Fall, Nevermore, Skin Lab, Burn It Down, which was a fun band to tour with.
This album was sort of the beginning of the opening of In Flames to me, the American metal hardcore community, because it was the first time that I saw In Flames really grab hold of everyone I knew was touring for the Clayman album with the band Earth Crisis, who is also one of my favorite bands from the 90s, and was a metal, hardcore band that was playing around the East Coast in America in the vegan straight edge hardcore scene, which I was very much a part of.
We were out with Skin Lab, and we did the States and Canada as well. And their fans were rabid for those guys. They've been waiting a long time to see him, and they definitely delivered.
I was a unique outlier where I liked Earth Crisis, and I also liked Swedish heavy metal. And there was a lot of us. I don't want to say that I was the only one, but I started a band right away, like a few of those people, and dedicated my life to, modern heavy metal because of In Flames and because of these early records. And a lot of it had to do with their crossing into that scene, and that tour really brought In Flames. They played right before Earth Crisis, and they just exploded right away.
The first show that we did in Canada was pretty amazing. The crowd was chanting In Flames before they took the stage, so it was like an arena type atmosphere to it. They were so stoked to see those guys, and the tour was great. It really was. It was cool to go out with different bands and kind of mix it up and bring different crowds together. It worked really well.
Earth Crisis came more from the hardcore scene, and that's where I feel like the melodic, if we ever been a death metal band, but the melodic death that we were doing, I mean, that combined with the hardcore became something else. And then over in the US, it's a great time.
My favorite memories of the tour are watching the drummer give himself a reverse Mohawk and then run and literally dive into dumpsters going haywire, losing his mind after a month on the road.
When this album came out, we started touring together. We did 2 tours in Europe and 2 years later in America. And you can really tell how the band grew with this album and how these songs kind of became staples of their live set. And it was really interesting and cool to see how kind of band really evolved and grew way bigger than they did before. And I think this album is where that thing really happened and kind of took place. So I love it.
That Clayman tour, In Flames, Nevermore, Shadows Fall, Burn It Down, so many great memories, such a fantastic record. We lost the great World Dane a few years ago. We lost Jason McCash from my band. We lost Bob Fouts from my band just this year. Whenever I hear Clayman, it's always going to bring back great memories of all of those people, of the whole In Flames band and crew. I gotta say, one of my proudest achievements of our little band is that we were the band that broke the In Flames band t-shirt rule. As I understand it, you guys had a rule where you wouldn't wear band t-shirts on stage, just kind of a aesthetic, cool continuity thing, and you broke that rule, Bjorn and Anders in particular, for our little band, Burn It Down. You wore those t-shirts all around the world.
Clayman is amazing, front to back, no questions. But if I had to pick a favorite track, it would have to be Swim. It's a late in the record, but it was actually the first In Flames song that I ever heard, I think. But anyways, hands down, my favorite track. Hopefully one of these days I can get them to play it live. I still have never seen them play it live. As many times as we toured with them, I've always asked them, just like, yo dudes, what about swim? What about swim? Gonna play it? Gonna play it? Gonna play it? Anyways, never happened. But hopefully one day in the future.
Both bands teamed together for their first ever US and Canada tour. It was very eventful, as you might say, so it's hard to pick up a real story, a drunken story, an accidental story, because there was so many. It was such an adventure to tour the United States back then.
Getting to go on tour with In Flames was an absolutely incredible experience at that point. They were such a huge part of who Killswitch Engage was, and we looked up to them so much. And so, you know, being able to kind of get in the row with them and meet them and hear them every night was freaking awesome. And, you know, I guess it's always the icing on the cake when you meet a band that was so important and so influential to you. When you meet them, they're just all like sweethearts and gentlemen, and you know, they're just lovely, lovely guys, and it's just what a cool feeling, you know. And I still look back on those tours as like some of the coolest moments ever in the history of being able to tour and playing live. So, good memories, really good memories.
In Flames, Megadeth, Lamb of God, Trivium. The last band I'll take out of this quote, but those first three bands, some of the greatest bands in the world, some of the bands that absolutely put me where I am today. So I'm so excited about the 4-band lineup: Trivium, In Flames, Lamb of God, Megadeth. It's going to be an absolutely incredible time.